All right, welcome back, grade 10s. We have a document that we're going to be working with until the 12:25 break. And that document was on the side. That document is being shown on the screen. And let me talk to you a little bit about the document. In social studies, our students get to a point where for evidence, they have strong historical evidence. Historical evidence is always the area that they're strongest in. And then they have some contemporary evidence, but it's very rare that students have what we call hypothetical evidence. Hypothetical evidence. And this package that we have here is hypothetical evidence because people are speaking in metaphors. And I want you to do two things today in the half an hour and 10 minutes that are left. I want you to analyze these sources. I want you to break down the language. And then I want you, as you break down the language, see if you can see how it could connect to your essay. So, we're going to look at the first one together. We've already looked at the second one. You know what? Let's skip. Let's go to the third one. I want to look at the third one together. So, these are natural extensions of the documentary of the corporation. The source we're about to look at is from a periodical called Adbusters. And Adbusters is a culture-jamming, anti-global magazine coming out of Vancouver. And this is from one of their anti-consumerism promotions. We are all in a room with four walls. What's the purpose of that? It's to create unity. It's to say, you know what, we're all in this together. It's supposed to get your attention. We are all in a room with four walls. A floor, a ceiling, and no windows or door. So not only is it saying we're all in it together, it's also giving us something, familiar. We're all in a room right now. Hey, look how familiar it is. But it's also adding a little nuance, and it's that there's no windows or door. That this is it. That this room is all we have. There's no escape. So the room is a metaphor for what? The Earth's biosphere. So when it says we are all in a room with four walls, a door, a ceiling, and no windows or door, it's really talking about the biosphere. The biosphere that you were born in, and unless something changes, all of us will die in. The biosphere, that thin layer of livable space in the known universe. So they don't say biosphere there. They use this metaphor for a room. The room is furnished, and some of us are sitting comfortably. Some of us even have little footstools. Some of us are sitting comfortably. Others most definitely are not. So what does that sentence say? It says that we have rich people, we have poor people. We have, one word, disparity. Disparity. So the purpose of that second sentence is to say, we're all in this together. We're all trapped on the biosphere. So what one person does impacts everyone. But within the room, we got rich people and we got poor people. So disparity. If you're going to talk about disparity, if you wanted to illustrate the gap between the rich and the poor, who do you use as an example of someone that's rich? Who's the richest people you know? Who's the richest people on the planet? Bill Gates is pretty rich. Yeah, Jeff Bezos, Elon, guys going to go to Mars, right? These are very wealthy people. And then if you wanted to illustrate the other end of the spectrum, the other end of the disparity spectrum, so we have these multi-billionaires, near trillionaires, and how do we illustrate people living in poverty? How do you get someone's attention and say, we got these people worth hundreds of billions of dollars, and we have third world countries where one in every 5 seconds, someone dies of poverty in a third world country. So they have so little, they're dying because they have so little. We have homelessness here in Wetaskiwin. So we have a gap between the rich and poor. So we're all in the room together, but Some are sitting more comfortably than others is a metaphor. So you could be sitting more comfortably because you have a private island like Shaq has. Not everybody's Shaquille O'Neal. Not everybody has a private island. He's pretty comfortable on that island. The walls are advancing inwards, gradually. What does that sound like? The walls are advancing inward. This is the same as the metaphor about the plane crashing. So when it says the walls are advancing inward, it's saying we cannot continue to live in this paradigm. That our current lifestyle is not sustainable. The purpose of saying the walls are closing in is to create urgency, to suggest that we do not have the option to continue to live like this indefinitely. That there's a carrying capacity for the room. The room can only have so many people in it until it becomes the black hole of Calcutta. People start being baked to death. So there's a carrying capacity for the planet because the room is a metaphor for the planet. The walls are advancing inward gradually, sometimes slower, sometimes faster. What would make the world, get smaller faster? Maybe some explosion of industrial waste. Making us all more uncomfortable. Advancing all the time, threatening to crush us all to death. So, nice language, right? This is not a children's story. This is not the story you tell your child before bed. Okay, hello, sweetheart, time to go to bed. We're all gonna get crushed to death. I don't want to go to sleep now. There are discussions within the room, but they are mostly about how to arrange the furniture. What does that mean? To arrange the furniture. So that's a discussion about redistribution of wealth. It's saying, someone's saying, you know what? Wait a minute. Let's take from the rich and give to Joey back here, who's the poor. That's taxation. That's taxation. That's progressive taxation, a term you studied in grade 9 social. Taking from the rich, giving to the poor is what they mean by moving around the furniture. Understandable? Yeah, I know, you lost your footstool. People do not seem to see the walls advancing. From time to time, there are elections about how to place the furniture. So, the Liberal Party, the Conservative Party, the NDP, they might have different visions on how to change the furniture, but they don't actually change the paradigm. The Republicans, the Democrats, they're talking about different ways to rearrange the furniture, but they're not dealing with the reality that the walls are closing in. And we have a finite amount of space and time. So that's the purpose of that. Oh. I like that. Devin, look what Devin did. So Devin of Devin. Nobody's there now?
No.
And I knocked over his drink to get there, and nobody's there, and you got up to get the door.
Devin.
I blame Devin. Devin's like the NDP. Let's blame Devin. I blame Rachel Notley. I bet she came and knocked on the door. Rachel Notley. Yeah, this thing's gonna crash pretty soon anyway, so this is never gonna hit YouTube. From time to time, there are elections about how to place the furniture. These elections are not unimportant. They make some people more comfortable. So when we rearrange the furniture and give some to the poor, then they're like, hey, this is more comfortable. But that doesn't really mean anything long term, right? They may even affect the speed at which the walls are moving. So we could create policies, legislation that changes the economy to slow down the carbon emissions, but the walls are still moving in. Unless the entire economy goes to zero net, effect on the environment, the walls will still keep going in. And unless our population stabilizes, the walls keep coming in. As long as our population keeps going up and the economy keeps being affected by our economic activities, the walls keep moving in. And I don't know why when I say walls keep moving in, my mask is becoming claustrophobic. Some refuse absolutely see the advance of the walls, shutting themselves tightly into the world of Disney. I played the song, didn't I? About Disneyland? By Dada? I'm going to Disneyland, yeah. What does going to Disneyland mean, other than doing drugs? Going to Disneyland, along with doing drugs, means escapism. So when it says from time to time, when it says shutting themselves tightly into the world of Disney, that means we're ignoring the walls we're moving in. We just want to escape. We just want to find something comfortable and rock ourselves in the corner and watch the Avengers again and escape our uncomfortable lives, our uncomfortable circumstances, and be lost in the world of fantasy, right? That's what the inclusion of the world of Disney means. And defending with determination the chairs they're sitting on. So it's like, no, you're not taking my frickin' chair. This is my chair. Nobody's taxing me for this chair. I will fight you for my chair. You can take my chair from my cold dead hands. So that's that selfishness of mankind being exposed. Some see and denounce the movement to the walls. There's no climate change. Build a party with radical program and look forward to a day in the future where there will be no walls. Others, and I among them, run to the walls and try desperately to find cracks or faults behind the surface. So how can we bust through the walls and create a new reality? To a practical theoretical activity of throwing ourselves against the walls. Oh man, I should just run up against that wall right now. Just kidding. Why did I? Because I go through it. I'm massive. Look at me. I'm a tank. I'm at least 145 pounds. I could break through our reality, yeah. Poor Mr. Phelan's going to come over. Are you guys all right there? Because, he's going to knock that wall down. So some people are throwing themselves against the wall. Why? Because they're trying to create change. Who are people in our society right now trying to create change? Who's going up to the wall and saying there's something wrong here? Who's somebody trying to throw themselves through a wall? This is Greta. This is Greta saying there's something wrong with this wall, guys. Hey guys, look at the wall. Like I'm like 12 years old or whatever she is. She's like 6. She's like a 4-year-old. She just learned how to walk. And she comes up to us and says, hey, I'm 2.5 years old, and I know better than you do that the world is coming to an end. The walls are closing in. The walls are closing in. And we're like, somebody needs a nap. It's nap time. So Greta's one of those people finding the cracks. She's the one running into the wall. Okay, and then two activities are complementary. Theory makes a little sense unless it's understood as part of the desperate effort to find a way out, to create cracks that defy the apparently unstoppable advance of capital of the walls that are pushing us to our destruction. So, we have Chromebooks. We just watched a documentary on the corporation. It's very negative. I want you to find, other than Greta, I want you to find other people that are those visionaries, those people that are trying to find the cracks in the walls, those people that are trying to create a new paradigm, a new reality for mankind, people that are trying to maybe not save the status quo, but ensure that we do have a future. So that's one thing that you need to do. And then when you do that, then jump into that first source about your mom telling you a bedtime story and see if you can keep drawing parallels between all three of these sources. And I'm going to go hit end because it hasn't crashed yet. And hopefully, imagine if it crashed right now.
Do it. Hurry up.
I would just be sad.
It's gonna crash.
Are you trying to
let it crash?
crash?
Just hit end already.